Okay, so hello. I don't feel like dancing as much as I used to. Um, knowing that my sister's cancer is back and it's on her liver, and I don't know. Thank you. Thank- oh gosh. Thank you. Um, well, it's nice to know I still got it, so it's whatever. Yeah, it was sad. Well, thank you, Eric. Thanks. Hands off, you and Shay. Um, I'm going to read this and then I don't have to type the whole thing in. This is my copyright disclaimer. Okay, it's a mess. I've had it for 2.5 years. That's how long I've had this channel. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachings, scholarship, and research. So yeah, the music is Patrick Patricchio's. Thanks so much, Chicken Dog Army. Gosh, that's the nicest thing. Excuse me. I had a little bit of celery. Now I have the like hiccups or something, or the something. Yeah. So no, I'm not, because I don't have grandkids yet. But you know, we all get older. It's very sad that, hi Maya. It's very sad that those teens in the Swiss Alps from all over, Portugal, Herzegovina, I think it's pronounced, Belgium, France, the Switzerland, of course, Italy, and a couple other places of the UK. Um, their lives are over. I mean, they're in heaven, dancing and partying, as some people say, but um, to be so young. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I took a lot of risks, when I was younger and partying and hitchhiking to Canada from Vermont and in the United States and things like that, and with my friends, and assuming everything would be fine. Um, yeah, no, you got to make your own sandwich. But it's really heartbreaking, and I've been following this since day one. Um, for those of you that don't know about it, 40 people have perished in a fire, and 119 are fighting for their lives in a hospital. Ages are 14 to about 20. And I found out today on a video that I'm going to be playing for you guys that a father, he's a banker, was summoned, right, by a text from his daughter to get to this Le Constellation in Switzerland there and help. Apparently she was fine. I assume she was inside of the burning building. She wasn't. She was outside of it. And he helped save and rescue, he says, about 5 people. Other people are saying 10. The footage of him taking a crowbar and breaking the glass shows him outside, but once that girl comes out, she's like burned here and on her face, and I don't know if she had a wig on, but her hair is kind of taped down. It's probably the fire just melting things. Apparently she's alive, but she's in a hospital somewhere. because I Googled and I was looking things up, because they don't, she's the only like burn victim up close because she had a top on that went to here, and she was in pants, and she's the only like burn victim that's coming out of that building. He looked at her, she jumped over this fence thing. Apparently, he went in and he said it was dark, smoky, of course. You could smell the gases and the fumes and everything. And he was feeling around in the dark and he was touching, dead bodies, passed out bodies, burned bodies, and he just grabbed whoever he could. Um, and some of them, um, you know, are fighting for their lives. So 50 out of the 115 were sent to burn units, specialized burn units in other parts of the country. One man was flown to Germany. So it's sad because there's still parents out there that don't know if they're where their child is. Now, they've identified all the deceased, so these parents know, well, if their child isn't deceased and they're not answering, then more than likely they're in a hospital somewhere. But they don't know where because these young folk were put into induced comas because the pain would have been too unbearable for their system. So they can't talk, they're not even awake, and this kind of thing. And it could take weeks. So even the doctors working on them and taking care of them don't know who they are. Some of them are unrecognizable completely, don't know if it's a man or woman, even by looking at the face anyway. Um, my mom, she passed away last February. I cannot believe it's been almost close to a year. She was a nurse, and she said burns are the most painful. It's the most painful thing you can have. Uh, I heard a doctor say last night that works in a burn unit that because of infection from the burned skin, that is why it has to be sloughed off, scrubbed off the dead skin. But they can't do that right now. They're incubated. So that's, what they got to go through so that infection doesn't turn into sepsis and they don't die. And a lot of these patients, young folk, are burned all over their body. I can't imagine. I can't imagine. And I mean, it can happen to anybody at any time. You can be in a car and get in a car wreck, and you know what I mean? So it's not just being in a bar with candles flaring off champagne bottles. I mean, getting burned. I don't know. I mean, I know when I was 7, my mom was carrying on a tray thing. She had some guests over and we had strawberry shortcake. I literally remember. It's my short term memory that isn't very good. And she bumped into me and a cup of coffee went on my shoulder, and I had to wear an apron tied like this for 2 weeks. And it was definitely first degree or third degree burn, but I don't remember. It was so traumatic. I don't remember going to the doctor, being in the doctor, if I was overnight in a hospital. I just remember it took a long time to heal, and I couldn't even wear like a shirt, And I was a little girl, 7. My mom felt just sick. So I've experienced a burn, but, that's just my right shoulder. Anyway, and then after these patients, way later on, 6 months to a year, have to have multiple surgeries of skin grafts. Okay. Oh, wow. Hi, Twisted. Will you guys hit the like for me? It gets my channel even out in the algorithms even more. Um, and so yeah, it's they have years of rehabilitation and all this kind of stuff. I mean, can you imagine if even just your one arm was really burned? It's immobile. I mean, you've got to learn to move again, and it's not just being burned and healing in a few weeks. It's just incredible. And then, of course, I saw a little video where the six Italian people, deceased young folk, were in these wooden caskets taken out of an airplane and brought back to Milan and different places, in their country of Italy. And the parents were crying, and and they're put into these really fancy black hearse. They're like pointy and almost look like they have wings. Not wings, but the shape of the dynamics of the car is sort of sporty and nice, not just some square thing like we have in the US or whatever. Um, so yeah, so I'm gonna pull this up first. Before I show this video, let me take a look who's here. Um, yeah. So I put a message, I posted a message somewhere, but I'm not sure why I'm not able to this time keep the live chat in. Okay, so I'll try to read what's here so far. Repent, for the day of the Lord is near. Placido's here. Placido, hi. Brody, Jeffrey, LILD83. Will you listen to Red Lights by Hands Off Yunche? Is that a band? I'm not sure who that is. This is Patrick Patricios that I found on the free YouTube library, and I really like him. He's kind of Indian sounding, kind of tunage, kind of foreign, but it's pretty nice, relaxing music. Like you said, it's very calming. Welcome, Stink and Eric and Caleb. Am I into hip hop? I like hip hop. I like country. I like country rap a lot. Like I just do. But I quit partying and drinking anything 14 years ago. So I don't really have a reason, to listen to that kind of stuff. Yeah, Chicken Dog Army. My sister, it happens to a lot of people. They do the chemo, they do everything they're supposed to, right? And then they get the bad news after fighting and becoming pretty weak. And she told me if she can tolerate the chemo again, because they put her on a chemo pill for a while, if she can tolerate it, she'll do it once a week. Otherwise, she's going to let herself go. She's going to let herself go, and then she'll have to be on hospice. And she's already talked to her kids about it and all that kind of stuff. She's a year younger than me. She lives in Missouri. So I can't even like be there for her. We write, we talk on the phone when she decides to answer. So yeah. So hi Maya Samosa. Thanks. Yeah, red has always been a fairly good color on me, and blue for some reason. Thank you. When was this? Boxer of Shadows. The fire, whoops, uh, New Year's Eve, the Swiss Alps in at Les Constellations, how do they say it? Les Constellations Bar in Crans Montana. Okay, now it's an incredible ski resort and all of this, but I also found out from this guy, this banker guy that helped people get out. Um, my thumbnail is that of him in a hospital bed. He had smoke inhalation. I don't believe he didn't get burned, but he had pretty bad smoke inhalation, but he's fine now. So, he's out of the hospital and he's talking. And he's talking about, and that'll be my video that'll show you guys. He's talking about how, I mean, not one fireman, not one truck was prepared for this. They couldn't get to the fire hydrant. Now you'll hear for a while too, because they had new asphalt put in and this and that and the other thing. And one fireman said he'd be back to help him get people out. He never came back. So it's interesting. I don't want to just show all the videos like I've done in the last 3 days, like everyone else. This is more not negligence, but just unpreparedness of these people working for the emergency services. No stretchers, no stretchers. People were laid on chairs and tables and carried to no tent. He talks about, no tent being made to keep the elements out. He talks about how it was so cold. It was, I can't remember exactly, but I think he says 11 below zero or something. And so when you're burning like that, and then you come out in the cold, it's a thermal shock. And he knows some kind of stuff, physics, and he knows some things, he says, but it's quite interesting. Those firemen did the best they could. They were crying and all of that, but the town, I should say, wasn't prepared because they couldn't even hook up their trucks to the fire hydrants. I believe he said for 2 hours. Okay, I watched this afternoon. My short-term memory isn't that fabulous because I had a stress-induced heart attack this past April. But I have no blockage or anything, and I'm on meds. But it's serious and a little scary because 5 years prior, I had a thalamic stroke out of the blue. So heart disease, runs in my family. But so New Year's Eve at 1:30 in the morning, this happened. And if you look at the videos over there in Switzerland, you just type in Swiss fire. You don't even have to put anything else in. At midnight, they're all dancing and all happy and cheering, and an hour and a half later, all hell breaks loose inside this wooden building with a basement and an upper floor. And they know from footage on phones, because people were filming kids in there, that the ceiling caught on fire from champagne bottles with those bangle, what they call bangle lights and sparklers and this kind of thing, because the waitresses were being hoisted on top of guys' shoulders and then they held them up. Yeah. And that's why the first 4 days it'll say things like explosion and all this. No, it wasn't an explosion. It was caused, they know now, because of the footage they've seen, by these sparklers, by a sparkler in bottles. The roof caught on fire because there was no flame retardant put all over it, and it was soundproofing foam material, so it spread really fast. And then, of course, there was a flashover, and there's a kid taking his shirt or a shirt and trying to, put it out. A couple of people with their vodka and their bottles were trying to douse it, with vodka. I mean, this is what I mean. If you guys watch my past videos, it they're not really long, but it explains a lot. And I did one last night where I showed a lot of different footage and survivors that got out and talked about their experience and what they saw, and in their nice accents, and it's it's really sad. It's just staying with me and staying with me because we all go to bars or used to, or a club, and you feel like you're safe. And apparently the bouncer, or was he a bouncer or a security guard? Well, he says it in this video. He comes in to see where the fire's at, and then instead of coming back and doing anything, he's gone. But it turns out one of the workers there dies, and the DJ passed away. The DJ, they showed him, he passed away. And when this first happened, if you guys type in the station fire in Rhode Island, that footage is horrific. 70 people died, and there were bodies on bodies, just like here, because people were getting trampled and trying to crawl over others to get out, right? Get bottlenecked and stuck in the door, and then nobody can get out. Do you know what I mean? And even more people behind. So if there's ever a fire or you smell smoke, you don't want to, you want to, of course, let your friends and people know, but you don't want to scream fire inside an establishment, because then everybody, the herd mentality, runs to the exit. And if there's only one, then you can't get out. You want to just instantly get yourself out. And a lot of people don't know that. And you certainly don't want to film it. And there's quite a few of these. There's really bad fires from these sparklers. I think there was one in India. A guy mentioned there's been about 5 in the past few years where lots of people die from even though it's just a sparkler, it's considered a pyrotechnic. And yeah, and I didn't know that. So I'm gonna find it on here. What I'm looking for. And this is from the news station or newspaper or whatever, called the LaGuardia or LaGuardian. Yeah, it's LaGuardian. So I'm amazed at how many people haven't known about, that didn't hear about this fire, when it's so horrific and there's so many people that were hurt and even killed. And it was on all the regular news channels: CNN, CBS, ABC, BBC, Sky News comes out of UK, BBC is the whole world, all of them. Now, this banker's name that came because his father, didn't know about it, and she called him or texted him. His name is Paolo Campolo. Paolo Campolo. Campolo. And this is what I found quite interesting. The parents are already very upset that there was one exit. The back exit apparently was locked, and it was a narrow stairwell going up from the basement up. So people were running and trampling and getting stuck and all this stuff. A lot of the people in the little videos that you see that are filming the ceiling on fire, a lot of those people died. I had no idea, but the woman in the blonde hair, I saw a video. She had two long blonde braids, and she worked there, a seasonal worker there, and she seriously, like, I saw the video and I was looking at the hair and the details. She was carrying a champagne bottle, one of them. They had 3 or 4 brought out. They're like $150, this Campolo says. And she died. She was in her young 20s, and she, in her picture, she's French. She had this long blonde hair, but she had it in 2 braids. You could, or 1 braid, and you maybe 2 or 1, you could see. And I know because they said she worked there. She was a worker. That was her. So the fire broke out minutes after she was hoisted, and 2 other waitresses. But there's a young gal in a golden dress whose parents, because the footage is all over the internet now, that was their daughter. She didn't get out. So those people filming that were down in the basement around where it started, I don't know if every single one of them, but most of them perished. Really something else. Okay, so so all right. So these are all the different little pictures of this Paolo Campano on my other iPad. There he is in the hospital bed. There's pictures of the fire. Um, and yeah, some of the victims. To spell it exactly right. I'm trying to find the interview, and now, oh, maybe this is it. That's just a picture. All right, so what I have to do, Paolo Campolo is in hospital. This was 4 days ago, recovering from smoke inhalation in the aftermath of the Crohn's Montana fire. All right, so you guys, bear with me. I will be back. I'm gonna go check something out, okay? Oh, you guys, I had to reboot my iPad. And okay, I found it. All right. Okay, so I'm usually more prepared than this. I thought I'd be able to pull it up right away. Good grief. Anyone even still here? This is ridiculous. Oh, man. Hi, Zoemb. Okay, I gotta check something really quick. This is the way it goes sometimes. All right. This is how the rescue unfolded. Okay. I found it. It took all this time. Here we are.
A fuego, entonces entramos lo poco que hemos podido, como 2 metros, asfixiándonos y sacando pues cuerpos por los brazos, por las manos, etc. Y no se veía, no es que no se veía, entonces íbamos palpando lo que podíamos y claro, te imaginas palpando pues cuerpos ya quemados y la sensación fue muy fuerte. Pero bueno, en el momento no lo piensa. La motivación es la de un padre, básicamente es esta. Al ya no poder más entrar y no encontrar más personas, y allí hemos sacado como
Okay, I have it. But on this one,
we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail.
there no captions. All right, I'm going to have to read what he's saying because he talks in, is it Swiss or French or, I think it's Swiss. And I'm going to turn it down. I had to do this with one of my other videos so you can hear what I'm saying. The subtitles are on. Hopefully it works.
Y entonces llegué y no había fuego, entonces entramos lo poco que hemos podido, como 2 metros, asfixiándonos y sacando pues cuerpos por los brazos, por las manos, etc. Y no se veía, el problema es que
I
no
don't
se
see
veía,
subtitles.
palpando lo que podíamos y
I don't see
pues,
subtitles.
Ya quemados.
Good Lord. Good grief. I just went through the whole thing trying to find US. Spanish auto-generated. Imaginos palpando pues cuerpos ya. Okay, but click for settings. You guys, this is just, I mean, this is it. This is how the rescue unfolded after the fire at La Constellation, according to one of its volunteers. And then this was the main thing that my automatic translate. Okay, well, we can try that, but I don't think it'll work.
Como 2 metros asfixiándonos y sacando pues cuerpos por los brazos, por las manos, etc. Y no se veía, el problema es que no se veía, entonces íbamos palpando lo que podíamos y claro, te imaginas palpando pues cuerpos ya quemados y entonces la sensación fue...
Okay, so...
pero bueno...
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so ridiculous. I just spent forever. Hi, Silent Winter. Hi, you guys. Hi, Richie. How's it? Is that the beer guzzling Rich from the past? Are you Richie Rich, or is that a different one? Okay, so I wanted to play this, but he's talking in his Swiss. So what I'm gonna do is end this video, tape it on my iPad, and then just do another little live part with him. So I'll just put Paolo Campolo continued on my other one. All right, I'm going to end this live. Thanks everyone for being here. It's been a good hour. The last 10 minutes have been crazy. I hope you were just talking amongst yourselves. I thought I could pull it up, and I couldn't, not even in English. So I'm going to do what I need to do, and yeah, we'll go from there. Hopefully I'll see you guys back here. All right, please hit the like if you don't mind, and please subscribe if you get the chance. All right, see you guys soon.